It was a bitter December evening. The wind howled through the streets, stealing warmth from every corner. People rushed home, shoulders hunched, scarves wrapped tightly around their necks, oblivious to the world around them. But in one forgotten corner of the city, where street lamps flickered and silence devoured the night, stood an old playground, rusted, abandoned, at the mercy of time. Beneath the creaking swings, on a broken wooden bench, lay a small figure curled up tightly. A girl. No older than 12. Her name was Lily. She clutched a worn backpack to her chest and wrapped a threadbare blanket around her tiny frame. Her nose was red from the cold, fingers trembling. In her hand, she held a photo, 2 smiling faces, her parents. The same ones she had lost in a tragic accident just weeks ago. The world had moved on from that crash. But Lily had not. That day began like any other. Her mother made pancakes that morning and kissed her forehead before she left for school. Her father, always cheerful, had winked at her, promising to bring a surprise. They were going to celebrate Lily's 12th birthday that weekend. Later that evening, while returning home with a cake and balloons in the back seat, the rain started to fall. The road was slick, the visibility poor. A delivery truck lost control and slammed into their car. The crash was instant. Her parents died on the spot. Lily remembered the sterile hospital room, the sympathetic voices of social workers, the emptiness when she was told they were gone. There was no warm hug, no shoulder to cry on, just paperwork and the cold hands of the orphanage system. The orphanage was supposed to be a safe haven, but for Lily, it felt like prison. The children there were cruel, the staff indifferent. She missed her mother's lullabies, her father's jokes, and the warmth of a home. One night, she couldn't take it anymore. Clutching her backpack and photo, she ran. She remembered the old playground. A place filled with memories of giggles and games with her parents. That's where she went. That's where she stayed. Miles away, in a towering penthouse, Alexander Gray stood in front of glass walls that showed him the world he owned, but none of it mattered. A self-made billionaire, he was feared, envied, and utterly alone. His life was a cycle of meetings, mergers, and muted silence. He had known loss too. Abandoned as a child, he was shuffled from one foster home to another. Every smile he saw growing up felt like a lie. That's why he built walls around his heart and businesses around his soul. But that night, something stirred. A restlessness, like the ghost of a life he might have had. He left his penthouse with no destination in mind. Just, driving. His car slowed near the quiet, snowy park. Something drew him in. He stepped out, buttoning his coat tighter against the chill. And then, in the dim glow of a flickering street lamp, he saw her. A girl. Alone. Shivering. For a moment, he froze. Her fragility awakened something long buried within him. She reminded him of himself, lost, scared, surviving. He walked forward slowly. "Hey, are you okay?" The girl flinched, clutching her bag. "I won't hurt you. I promise," he said softly. Her eyes, hollow and tired, stared into his. I don't have anywhere to go," she whispered. Alexander knelt beside her. "You shouldn't be here. It's freezing. Let me get you something warm to eat." She hesitated, then nodded. He returned with soup, sandwiches, and hot cocoa. They sat in silence as she ate, her hands still trembling. He didn't ask questions. He just watched, quietly shaken by the thought that a child was living like this in his city. He offered her his coat. She looked up, surprised. "Why are you helping me?" she asked. He took a breath. "Because once, no one helped me." That night, he couldn't leave her behind. He brought her home, prepared a guest room with soft blankets, fairy lights, and plush toys. She stood at the doorway, speechless. "You can stay here as long as you want," he told her. No rules. No yelling. Just, safety. Tears welled up in her eyes. The next day, he took her shopping. Clothes, shoes, books. She giggled when trying on boots. He bought her favorite cereal and decorated her room with stars. He contacted the best therapist in town, someone gentle, who helped children heal from trauma. Lily began opening up slowly. Days turned to weeks. Alexander took time off work, something he hadn't done in years. They watched cartoons together. He taught her how to ride a bike again. She taught him how to laugh. He found himself waiting to hear her footsteps in the morning. Her, "Good morning, Mr. Gray," slowly turned into, "Good morning, Dad." One night, she placed her parents' photo next to her bed. "I think they'd like you," she whispered. Alexander couldn't hold back tears. He filed for permanent custody. The court process was intense. Background checks, home visits, interviews. But the bond between them was undeniable. In the courtroom, Lily clung to his hand. The judge looked at them, this powerful man with tearful eyes and the little girl who now smiled. Custody granted, the judge declared. Alexander hugged her tightly. "You're my daughter now." Lily started school. Made friends. Joined the art club. Alexander attended every parent-teacher meeting. He even volunteered at school events. He transformed his office to have a small corner with a desk for her, where she did homework while he worked. They read bedtime stories together and painted on Sundays. One evening, she handed him a drawing, a house, a man, a girl, and a rainbow. On it was written, "My family." A year later, they visited the old playground together. Lily placed a small flower near the bench where she once slept. "I used to feel forgotten here," she said. Alexander took her hand. "Now it's a place of hope." They stood there, the city lights glowing behind them, two hearts healed by unexpected love. Epilogue, the power of one act. In a world where most walk by, one man stopped. One child held on. And together, they built something neither thought possible, a family born not of blood, but of kindness. And sometimes, that's the strongest kind of love there is.